Alright, hello Taurus. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for checking out my channel. Today I'm just going to do a general reading for you. So this is just going to be Celtic cross spread. Do forgive me if I am a little out of frame or if I try and show you a picture from the cards, it doesn't quite show up. I'm still learning how to properly angle the camera and all that. I'm currently only using my phone and some sort of like really cheap arm thing stand. So I'm still trying to learn what the heck I'm doing. So again, this is just going to be a general reading. The deck that I'm using, the main deck, is going to be from the Murder of Crows Tarot. So let's go ahead and get into it. What I'm going to be clarifying with is going to be from a deck called Welcome to Night Vale by Jessica Hayworth. That tarot deck in particular actually has some imagery in it that's got some, like, a bit of gore, a few, like, violent themed kind of things. It might trigger some tryptophobia, just so you know. If you are a little squeamish, you can stop looking and start listening instead if you want, or obviously there are other tarot readings, so that is fine as well. So let's see what we got. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck we have the Eight of Wands. So overall it feels like there's some sort of stagnation. It's Eight of Wands in reverse, sorry. There's some sort of like stagnation, something has just stopped. It feels like that has to do with you specifically. It feels like your soul, your spirit, your drive. Yeah, like your drive is just kind of is at a standstill and you don't know how to get out of it. Let's see what else this reading has to say. So it says in your current position, it's the Five of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles is usually about, like, you know, discomfort, usually it's depicted with somebody outside in like some really cold weather. It's like poverty kind of thing. It's not a happy card. So your current position feels like you're not comfortable. It kind of, because of this depiction of it, it kind of feels like you're being attacked, because you see the crows are all swarming the sky and he's like tied up. He can't do anything about it. It feels like you feel like you are being berated or attacked or something. Let's see. Yeah, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So it feels like you feel like you're being berated because of you're not, these people, whoever this is that you're being berated by, you feel like you put in a lot of work into something and you're not getting any recognition for it, and so you can't, you're at a standstill because of that. Ooh, okay, so it looks like here, this is like what it's impacting in your life. It looks like the current situation is making you stubbornly defensive about something. Like we have the Four of Pentacles here in reverse and the Seven of Wands, but they feel upright, so I'm gonna read them as they feel. They feel like you're being overly stubborn and overly defensive. The root cause is the Five of Wands. Let's see in reverse. Okay. So it feels like, see, usually the Three of Pentacles is all about, like, teamwork, working together, collaboration, working to each other's skills and things like that. And usually that's a good thing, but the way that the Five of Wands is, which is, it's in reverse, so it's supposed to be a good thing too, but overall this feels almost depressing. It feels like someone's forcing everybody to try and get along, and it's not working. It feels like somebody that you know who maybe is not part of this like argument so much. They're kind of part of it, but not really. They're more of a standbyer. They're forcing this union to happen, this bonding kind of thing, and it feels disingenuous. It also kind of feels like with this stubbornly defensive, it feels like maybe you might need to actually give in a little bit, because it feels like you're stubbornly not listening to this other person, and that's why they don't recognize your work. It feels like you both need to come together and actually have some sort of a conversation, because it feels like no one's right. It feels like everybody's wrong in this instance. No one's right. Everyone just needs to have a full, actual conversation here. And it's going to be a tough one, but it needs to happen. Let's see. You're leaving the Six of Wands in reverse with the Hierophant reverse. So it feels like you're possibly... It feels like you're possibly like maybe learning something, a new skill, going into college maybe, or maybe, I don't know, a student of some kind. Maybe you're just an apprentice or something. But it feels like because you're like the student and they're both in reverse here, it feels like you don't think it's going to pay off. It feels like you feel like this is wasted effort. And so you're just gonna leave it behind, which I totally get. I actually dropped out of college myself because it just was not meant for me. It didn't work with me, and I was wasting way too much money. So if that's what you feel is right, then sometimes it is the best move. So in your near future, you have the Three of Wands in reverse with the Eight of Wands upright. So it feels like in the near future, it kind of feels like things are gonna kind of fall apart quickly. But is that a bad thing? The Page of Swords in reverse. You're no longer gonna be just sitting by. You're gonna like speak your truth. You're gonna be speaking your truth and not like just waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's gonna cause this I guess collapse. But it doesn't feel like a bad thing. It feels like it's going to be high stakes in the moment that it happens. Like maybe the stress of all of this is going to make this just happen. You're just gonna burst at the seams and it's just gonna come out. But it's something that feels like it needs to happen. It feels like that at the end of this, it is actually going to be beneficial, because everyone's gonna like, work harder to like get to where they need to be. Like I said, there needs to be a conversation if you want to avoid that, but like if you don't have this conversation, that's likely what the cost is going to be. In the distant future, we have the Six of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles, and they're both in reverse. So let's see, in the distant future, it feels like it kind of, because like the Six of Swords is all about moving forward, moving on from something. It feels like you're not moving on from something. You're not learning something. And this Queen of Pentacles here in reverse, it feels like you're really just, you're not learning a lesson. It's like you're going to fall back into all this other stuff about being stubbornly defensive, about not actually speaking what you feel, not speaking your truth, you probably need to break out of that, because that's just gonna keep holding you back. It's hard to sometimes talk about things that bother us and talk about the truth, but it's necessary. In your current energy and current emotions position, you have the Hierophant, the upright, with the Five of Swords reverse. Okay. So, it feels like, it feels like the student thing definitely happening. The Five of Swords in reverse. It kind of just feels like this thing that you're going to leave behind. This is your current feeling, and you're really wanting it to go. Like, and maybe it's not so bad at the moment, but it's getting to the point where it feels like it's breaking. Let's see. Yeah, you feel like you're putting in a lot of work into this, and usually this is about like sharing the wealth. You know, you're in a good place to share the wealth, you're in a good position, but it feels like you're sharing, not necessarily sharing the wealth, it's more like you're paying into this education or this thing, whether it be with money or with like resources, with your own labor, with your own, you know, whatever have you. With it's something that you are paying into in some way, shape, or form, but you don't feel fulfilled about it, which could be why you're going to be leaving it behind. And the people around you, we have Page of Swords upright. Yeah, it feels like someone around you has been planting some sort of crop or something. They have an idea and they're working on it, and they're just waiting for it to grow. They're like watching it. It's got all these leaves blowing up in his face, but like it's like he's wanting that. He's looking for it and wanting that to happen. And with this page, he's staring out. He's staring out with his head held high. He's looking out for something. He's waiting. He's waiting for something. And that's what it feels like. It feels like this person around you, maybe it's like a father figure, or maybe a good friend or something. I mean, heck, maybe even a mother. Somebody's has an idea and is waiting to see what happens with it. And they're hoping it's going to come true. Your hopes and fears is the Four of Swords in reverse, with the Ten of Pentacles upright. So it feels like what you hope to do is actually be able to like have your work and your hard work appreciated, because the Four of Swords is about resting, you know, letting your body heal and all that stuff, but it feels like you don't rest. You work really hard, you don't stop, and you just really want recognition for that. You want to see profit from that, you want people to recognize that. And that's completely valid. That makes sense. So in your outcome, we have the Ten of Swords upright with the Eight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, that's exactly what this feels like. You see, I'm going to turn this up right so you can see. This depiction of the Eight of Cups is supposed to be walking away from something, but there's a single cup looks kind of like water or something, just wrapping around this person and bringing them back, or trying to call them back. And usually I don't read it like that, except for when it's in the reverse. I do read it like that, calling him back, not walking away, not being able to move on. And the Ten of Swords is it's the end of a cycle, but I also feel like this is going to be a repeating cycle. And that's going back to this distant future thing, not learning your lesson, going back to all this. This all just feels like it's all really woven in together. It's not like any one point. This is what you feel all together, that you're working really hard for something. No one recognizes it, but it's because you're also not recognizing what this other person's saying. And let's see. Yeah, on the bottom of the deck we have Justice. all you want things to be fair. You want things to be just. You want things to just, you want it to be fair, but the only way it can be fair is for everyone to understand. Even you. You need to understand as well. That's just what I'm getting from it. You don't have to take my advice. But yeah, that's all I have. Thank you for watching, Taurus.